A man walks into a police station and calmly confesses to killing someone. The issue? There is no victim, no crime scene, no missing person, nothing. Yet he knows details he shouldn't know, details about a murder that hasn't occurred. At 3:14 a.m., a man walked into a quiet police station and confessed to murder. But the strange part wasn't his confession. It was the victim, a person who was still alive. What follows is one of the most unsettling psychological mysteries ever recorded. The man introduced himself as Evan only. He spoke calmly, too calmly, and he said 7 words that changed everything. "I killed someone. You just haven't found them yet." Officers assumed he was unstable until he described the crime with that accuracy. About the crime, Evan described a murder scene in vivid detail. The precise location, an abandoned underpass. The exact time, 5:47 a.m. the next morning. The victim, a man in his 40s wearing a gray jacket. The cause of death, a single blow to the head. All impossible because the crime hadn't happened yet. When detectives asked why he came forward, he said, "Because I won't remember any of this tomorrow." Interrogation. The more Evan talked, the stranger it became. He answered every question, except questions about himself. He couldn't say where he lived, couldn't recall his last name, couldn't explain where he came from. But when the conversation returned to the future murder, he spoke like a man reading from a script burned into his mind. It was like he was remembering something that hadn't happened yet, rather than inventing it. The prediction. Officers decided to treat it like a threat, a potential premeditated crime. A surveillance team was dispatched to the location Evan mentioned, not because they believed him, but because something about his tone felt wrong. He wasn't warning them. He was reporting a crime that, according to him, already existed in his memory. The morning of the crime. At 5:47 a.m. sharp, officers watched the location. No suspect, no victim. For a moment, they believed it was all a delusion, until a man in a gray jacket appeared, walking directly into the underpass. This was the moment everything changed, because the man wasn't attacked, he wasn't followed, but he collapsed instantly, just as Evan described. The medical report. No weapon, no attacker, but the same injury Evan confessed to causing, a single fatal blow to the head. Except the wound happened from the inside, as if his skull had fractured without force. The timeline matched Evan's confession perfectly, and yet Evan had been in police custody the entire time. The final twist. When officers returned to question Evan, he was gone. Not escaped, not released. His fingerprints were never recorded in the system. The CCTV file corrupted, and every officer remembered his face differently. The official report was closed with a single line: no evidence subject ever existed. But the underpass victim, he was real, and his cause of death is still listed as unexplained traumatic injury. So who was Evan? A man predicting a crime? A killer trapped outside his own timeline? Or something far more disturbing? Let me know your theory in the comments, because this case, it raises one terrifying question. What if the future can leave fingerprints before it arrives?